All of our injectors are primed now and we're ready to start calibrating. To calibrate pumps, we'll need a few items. The calibration column that comes with your kit, a beaker to refill that column with water, our cup for catching any liquid that drops out of the injection fittings when we turn the dials down, and we'll also need our phone to check what our dial position should be that we set earlier. So the first step in setting all of these pumps and calibrating them is to turn the dial positions to the appropriate spot based on your fertigation system design. And to do that, we will go back into the settings of our pumps, or we can look at the devices list since we already named them with the pump model and the dial position. It's easy to take a look at that real quick and change all the dial positions to where we're at. One very important part about H.E. Anderson pumps is the dial can come lifted up during shipping. Make sure that the teeth on the dial are met up with the knob on the pump itself. If it's not, make sure to push that dial down and make sure that the dial is still set to the 10 position. These pumps are calibrated at the factory at that dial position, and we want to make sure that they stay there. If you're decreasing the dial position on these pumps, you'll find now that we've primed them, it's very difficult to turn the dial down. Don't try to force them. Don't put any tools on this knob to try to force this dial down. Relieve the pressure on it by opening our injection fitting up here. Hold the cup here because a little bit of liquid will drip out as we turn this dial down, because what we're doing is actually decreasing the diaphragm size in here, so we're going to push liquid out of the diaphragm. So we are going to turn our first pump, which is a P1 set to dial position 6. We'll turn that down now, and you'll see a little bit of liquid is dripping out here at the top, but you can move this dial pretty easily. And close your injection bleeder valve back up. Our next pump is the H4 set at 7. Open up your bleeder and you can easily turn the dial down. So that one's set to 7. Remember to always close the bleeder valves. This pump is also set to dial position 7. So we'll turn that down now. This one is our core pump. It is set to dial position 7 as well. Some of these dials and knobs can be very sticky because these pumps are brand new. As you use them a little bit more, they'll loosen up. Our next pump is set to position 7 as well. Okay, there's position 7. This pump is set to dial 4, and our A3 is set to position 8. Perfect. So dial positions are set. We're going to move on to using our calibration column here. For the purpose of this video, we've installed a piece of unistrut because the calibration column's with a set of magnets on the back, or if you have someone else helping you, they can hold the calibration column for you. So we'll just set it right here. First step is to close the valve on the column. We'll get some of our water and begin filling the column up. It's not really important to get it exactly right because we still need to fill this line with water, and the easiest way to do that is simply open the valve a little bit and let it push all the water out, right, like that. So make sure you get the line as full of water as possible. We want to eliminate as many air bubbles as we can. Now we're going to calibrate this pump first, and we'll work down the line. To do that, we need to disconnect the suction line that we connected previously and set it aside for now. And then simply connect the line coming from your column onto the suction side of the pump. So we've topped our calibration column off to 0 milliliters. Now I'm going to run the pump 10 times, and we're looking for 60 milliliters of drawdown from the pump. Again, we're flowing water through the system. That's critical to calibrating properly. The reason that I know that we need to draw down 60 milliliters is because I'm referring to the table that we provide as part of the instructions. We are calibrating a P1 pump set to dial position 6, and a dial position 6 correlates to 60 milliliters of drawdown over 10 strokes. So we'll start that now simply by putting this switch to the on position. We should hear that pump fire. So that's 1, 2, 3, 9, 10. Okay, then simply look at the column. We are at about 65 milliliters. So we overdrew by about 5. So in this instance, the pump overdrew what we were expecting it to, which means we need to decrease the diaphragm size slightly. The more off the pump is from its calibration, the more you'll have to turn the dial in this situation. It's really a trial and error, and you get a feel for adjusting and calibrating these pumps over time. So to calibrate it or to adjust the diaphragm, what I'm going to do is lift the dial up and decrease the diaphragm size slightly. So that is turning this knob in a clockwise direction, just a little like that. If you need to, again, open up the injection fitting at the top, and then the knob will turn much easier. Since we saw that it was about 5 milliliters over, I'm doing about 1/8 to 1/4 of a turn on that knob. If you were off, say, 20 or more milliliters, you may need a half turn or even more. It really depends on how much the pump is off from the target. All right, so we've reseated the dial here, and we can perform another calibration run. So we're just going to repeat the steps that we did before. We're going to refill our column to that 0 milliliter mark, and then simply 1, 2, 3, 9, 10. Okay, and we're right at the 60 milliliter mark. So this time we met our 60 milliliter target perfectly, so that calibration was successful, our adjustment worked, and we can move on now to calibrating the next pump. The calibration method is the same across every H.E. Anderson injector, so you'll repeat this step across all of your pumpers. Just be sure to follow the table that we provide and match up the pump model number and the dial number to the amount of milliliters that it should draw over 10 strokes. I'm going to remove the column line from that pump. We'll come back over to our normal suction line that goes on the pump and reattach it. Now during this process, you can see here, this suction line actually got some air in it. You may need to reprime this pump once you're actually ready to start it up.